met, and they had a very, very good conversation. You know, this is how America works. We have peaceful transition of power. If we'd have lost, I would have expected no less than Donald to call Hillary and say, hey, it was a good race. We battled hard, but I wish you well, and prayers that you do well in your job and you succeed. So it was really good to see that. And for all you idiots out there, especially Black Lives Matter, I mean, Jesse bust them in again. What does that have to do with this? I mean, they are everywhere. If there's a fire at a church, Black Lives Matter.
But you know, excuse my ignorance. Excuse my ignorance. I have not. The guy hasn't even taken office yet. What are they complaining? Why are they bitching about it? It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I don't know, unless they are trying to create, and this is another thing, they are burning the American flag and waving the Mexican flag. What did the Mexican have to do with this? Please, excuse my ignorance, but what did they have to do with this? This is and let me tell you, the media have a lot to do with it. Why do they have to bring the speech of the Mexican president today? Something that happened, 6 months ago, I think it was?
Yeah.
During the campaign? What did that have to do with this? And they always, all night long during the election night, they was talking about what Romney did, what McCain did. What did that have to do? If you need to waste some time, if you need to kill some time, then talk about your opinion, talk about what can happen, create something, but don't bring, they have nothing to do comparing the numbers. I mean, maybe I'm not a journalist, maybe I am a mentally retarded little Cuban refugee, you know, then it doesn't make any sense to me. Bringing all this, they even brought Kennedy and Eisenhower, you know. What? That was in 1960, for Christ's sake.
I don't understand. I really don't.
I really don't. Maybe I'm not into politics. Maybe I don't know anything about politics. But I tell you one thing. I think I kind of put my finger exactly where what's going to happen. I knew Donald Trump was going to win. And I did. I had the faith that this country was going to go back to be what we used to be. I remember in the 50s and the 60s, not that I'm that old, you know. It's just,
you heard about it.
I heard about it, yeah. Thank you. But, I mean, it doesn't, I predicted the same way that I am predicting today, then Sandoval is not going to be the governor of Nevada in the next election. He has to go. He was an instrumental of Harry Reid to deprive the people of this great state with a good government, and he lied to us by saying that he's a Republican, because people have the tendency to believe then, oh, wait a minute, it's like this. That's the way Trump do it. That's the way he do it. People have the tendency to believe then everything the politicians tell you is true. Mm-hmm. And I always look at the other side first before I even try to believe what a politician said, because they were born lying. You know, people say, how do you know when a lawyer lied to you when he moved his lips? Well, why do you think it is with the politicians? The only time they not lying is after the election. They go back, they lock themselves in their office, and they don't look at you no more for the next 2 years or 4 years, whatever the term is. You know, I believe then we need to be realistic. This guy hasn't even taken office yet, and they complaining, they bitching, they burning flags, they doing everything else. You're right. Give him the guy time to even assimilate that he is the new president of this great nation.
Unbelievable.
I mean, the guy hasn't even been able to assimilate that, even if he already knew he was going to be, because he's not a loser. He win. Look at her. She have lost 3 times.
That's right.
And she keep running.
That's right.
And the same thing happened with these local politicians. You got a guy like Mike, I forgot his last name now. Every time it's an opening in a court, he run for judge. People don't want him. Why would they put him? Why will he keep running? And there's another one also. Oh, Danny Tarkanian. Mm-hmm. Danny Tarkanian hasn't won an election in his whole life. Like I wrote in there, he's running on his father's name. And if you ask me, his father gave Nevada a black eye when he was photographed in a jacuzzi with a bunch of black players. What were they doing? What was he doing in a jacuzzi with a bunch of black players? Then I believe it wasn't even his team. He wasn't even these players weren't his team. It was the opposite team. What was he doing over there? I'm glad it wasn't me. But I mean, he should not run anymore. He shouldn't. People should not humiliate themselves anymore, unless maybe he like to be humiliated and abused, and who knows. But I tell you one thing, and do you notice then I'm not yelling anymore? You notice that I'm talking normal? I'm talking like a normal human being. You know why? Because somebody read my column and I was criticizing Hillary Clinton for yelling at people. And every time she speaks, she yells, she screams. And he said, why do you criticize her? You talk loud like that. Well, I have an excuse. I'm Cuban. Cuban people talk like that because we love to talk over each other, But what is her excuse? Her excuse is because she thinks that's the way she was, according to that Secret Service guy that wrote a book. That's the way she was in the White House, screaming at people and humiliating people and telling people to go F and go this and go that.
Oh, wow.
I love to read that book. I really would love to read that book.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have any more problems. Her health problems are piling up. Yeah. She probably won't even last a couple more years, But I believe that the people should be able to take a break and also, stop listening to that Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpner. Those are the people, Chris. Those are the people. Then they create the antagonistic situation. They create it behind the scene, and then they come out like they're gonna fix it. Oh, they are the leader. They're not leader. None of the black people that I know, and believe me, I know a lot of black people. Okay, I'm not a racist, so I'm friends with a lot of black people. A lot of those black people don't even like Al Sharpner or Jesse Jackson.
It makes my blood boil every time I cut on the TV and they're talking to someone that's supposed to represent the black race, and I just don't understand it. I'm like, they didn't ask us, because Jesse Jackson is not even liked in Chicago. So how nationally he's supposed to be the leader of the black community? I have no idea, because he has no respect. In Chicago, people don't respect Jesse Jackson. They don't. They don't respect Al Sharpton. They ran him out of New York because of that.
Really?
They don't like Al Sharpton. I mean, Al Sharpton's a phony. he, had that big, what was that girl that was supposedly raped in New York? And you remember he made a big deal about it. It came out that she was lying. I forget, remember in the 90s, that black girl that supposedly was raped, and, he was saying the police are racist, and that's why they don't want to catch the person. And it came out that it was a lie. Just like the Duke lacrosse team. Remember they were supposed to have raped that black girl, the stripper. It came out that she was lying, and they jump all over these things without even having the facts.
She was a stripper?
She was a stripper. She went to work that party for the Duke lacrosse team.
Oh.
And she said that they raped 10 players on the team raped her. And they canceled the season. There were lawsuits. They were going to throw them out of school. Jesse Jackson was there and Al Sharpton, and they were saying, see, this is white privileged society raping this little poor black stripper girl. Comes to find out she was lying. The whole thing was a lie she made.
Who created it?
Well, they did, of course.
They did?
They hired lawyers for her, and
no, but who told her to claim rape?
Well, I don't know, but
it never came out.
Never came out. But I have a feeling
that'd be interesting. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
and this
I agree.
All the time, and they're on TV, and it just CNN had some guys on last night, and they were talking about that. This whole thing is racist, and it was white racist angry men is the reason that Trump won. And I'm sitting up here. It's just like Hillary said. Hillary said that Trump supporters were a basket of deplorables. And they make us seem like we have no sense whatsoever just because we don't agree with their views. I was talking to my wife this morning, and I said, liberals all believe in holding hands and singing Kumbaya as long as you agree with them. But once you don't agree with them, now you see the real face. Now they're out in the streets protesting, burning American flags, burning pictures of Donald Trump. Where's the respect at? I don't care how much I disagree with Barack Obama. I wouldn't burn a picture with his face on it. I wouldn't burn the American flag. We just disagree on the issues. We just disagree on the direction we want to take the country. But I said it before on the show, I respect him as a man. I respect him because he's the president of the United States. I
did respect him a lot.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, the first time then I saw Barack Obama doing a speech in the floor of the United States Senate, I was very impressed with him. He's a good talker.
Yes.
He's a great bullshitter.
Yes.
And because he's an activist.
Yes.
Activists are born with that quality. They know how to talk. Mm-hmm. Bill Clinton is another one. Yes. I understand that part. The only reason then I never became a fan of Barack Obama is when I saw the picture of Che Guevara and a flag of the Cuban flag in the Houston, Texas headquarters for his campaign. Wow. And everybody that I called from New York to Washington to Texas, they never answered me. But I never thought it was not because anything else but the fact that I don't see a reason why a man that is running for president of the United States or for president of any country having the flag of another country in the campaign headquarters. It doesn't make any sense to me. If I'm running for president of Costa Rica or any other country, why would I put the Cuban flag in the Costa Rica headquarters? And then the more I hear him talking, I realize that he was a communist. And he's still a communist. But you never saw me calling him names because he still is the president of the United States. I can call Sandoval a rhino, but that is not really an insult. I don't think it's an insult to him. He is a rhino. He is a Democrat passing for white, not white, but he's a Democrat passing for Republican. People do all kind of things,
Yes.
just to be elected.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't see any reason why it has to be. No, false alarm. Nobody was shooting at us. Okay, good. You know, we have a good bodyguard over here. That's why. You
See
know.
her jump up.
Yes. Yes.
They don't know she
They
knows
don't
taekwondo and all kind of different things. So, yeah, we had a little earthquake there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody,
Well, you know, she carry all those machine guns and everything in that bag. You
why she
know.
was supporting Trump, so she could carry her guns around. Yeah, you see that?
Oh, you know. So, but anyway, what do you think? You know, the meeting was supposed to be 15 minutes.
Yes.
It lasted an hour and a half.
Yes.
And I tell you one thing, they said that the photographer from cameraman from Fox News missed the entrance
Oh, wow.
of Obama, of Trump getting into. I wanted to see if Obama make Trump wait or he was waiting for him in the door. I don't know if they did that intentionally because I don't think anybody in the right mind will risk losing their job.
No.
Because if I send a photographer to take a picture of something and he had to go to the bathroom or he start talking to another person
Yeah.
and he missed that shot, he better don't come back over here, you know. I got the feeling that they told him you cannot take the picture.
Maybe.
Because Trump didn't want to have the media in there.
Right.
I don't know how he ended up having media in the, well, he cannot stop it, but the media was not inside
Right.
the meeting like any other
Right.
place, you know. And I'm glad to see him keeping his word. The media was not his friend when he was running. The media was his enemy. So I hope he treat them not as an enemy, because I will not call them an enemy. You know, that would be giving too much. Would be giving too much credit to the media, but he need to treat the media. He didn't allow the media in his plane.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't allow the media in his plane. They're gonna suffer. They're gonna. I think, and I'm glad that he's doing it. And I hope, I really sincerely hope that he don't change his mind about a lot of things. People will use that against him. Where's the wall that you promised? Because that's one of the reasons they made him president. People wanted to get some kind of an immigration line where, hey, you're not here legally, out. Hey, you have to leave. You know, people are tired of that, Chris. I believe they are.
Yeah.
You know, I believe that the people, I believe he need to.
I think I agree with you, and I think the first 100 days are crucial. The good thing about him, he seems like the type of guy that he hits the ground running. He's a businessman, and I think he will hit the ground. He has control of the Senate and the House, and I think that the first 100 days, I think he'll get a lot of things done.
I don't think it's too many presidents that walk into the White House with control of both houses.
Yes.
Isn't it?
I can't remember the last one.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think even Kennedy did.
Yeah, I think he's going to hit the ground running. And, you know, the thing about immigration is, you know, all of this, he hates immigrants. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying, first of all, is that he wants you to come into the country legally.
Legal, that's all.
That's it. And he's talking about illegal criminals. He's brought up 5 or 6 points about criminals in this country illegally that have murdered people or committed crimes, he wants to deport those people. What is crazy about that? He never said, I'm going to go round up people and ship them back to Mexico. He never said that. He talked about building a wall because the country
that would be a good idea.
He talked about deporting illegal criminals. That's what he's talking about, and putting a freeze on Muslims coming from certain countries. He never said a freeze on all Muslims coming into America. He specifically said Syria and Iraq.
What's wrong
with that? That's, until he said we figure out, quote, what the hell is going on.
Who are they?
What's wrong with the... What is so? That's not right wing, left wing. That's common sense. What is wrong with that? And that's why he won, because he just talks common sense to people.
Try to go to Mexico and try to set your territory over there. They won't let you. They won't let you. Try to go to any other country.
Property, anything.
That's why they have visas. That's why they have passports. That's why they have customs, because they need to know who is coming to every one of the countries.
Absolutely.
You know, I remember when I went to Panama. You know, when I got to the airport, they put me into a room, they took my passport, and they said, when you're gonna leave, you come and pick it up. So all the time that I was in Panama, I didn't have my passport.
Wow, they want to make sure. Yeah.
You know, they didn't want me there. I don't know why, you know, but later on, I assume nobody ever told me that, because that's one thing about law enforcement in any country. They never tell you why they do things. You ask a police officer, why do you stop me? Wait a minute. Let me see your driver's license. But why do you stop me? I'm asking the question, but why do you stop me? You know, and they won't tell you. And this is only in a traffic stop. Yeah. I'm not talking about the SWAT team and the FBI and all this, what do you call, organized crime unit jumping and kicking the doors down. I'm not talking any of that. Even the most simple traffic violation, they will never tell you why they stop you. You know, and that drives me crazy. So I ask a lot of people in Panama, why did they take me? I don't know. Well, they probably tell you well, I assume that the reason was because Raúl Castro was in Panama also at the same time that I was. Mm-hmm. And they probably thought that I was some crazy Cuban, anti-Castro, you know. I am a peaceful person. I don't even carry a gun. Why would I go to Panama to kill Raúl Castro? I didn't put Raúl Castro in there. And that's why I tell people all the time, I did not put the Castro regime in power. Never. I never moved a finger. My connections in Cuba were with the students from the university, with the Federation of Students in the University of Havana. And what was the first thing that Fidel Castro did when he got to Havana? He took the guns away from the students, because the students normally they are critical of any government, no matter what government is. A good my grandmother used to tell me that I was a fanatic opposition all the time. She said, my grandmother used to say, if you're helping this president and tomorrow he become the president, you be against. But I guess I look at things different than everybody else. I look at things in a way that just one word that you say wrong, and I take it wrong, you don't say it wrong, I take it wrong, it made me change my mind about a person. It might be stupid, it might be irregular, it must be anything, but I believe that people sometimes they talk and they slip the wrong word, and it can be. That's the way I feel, you know. But I believe that these people. He hasn't been president elect, not even for 48 hours yet.
That's right.
Isn't it? No. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, tonight, it will be the 48 hours. You know, and they are already compared. And I think you're right. This is all pre-organized. Because, you know, how these people know the worrying for all this chanting that they do. You know, oh yeah, you know, how do they know? They must have a rehearsal or something.
Yeah, I think that there has been a wing of the Democratic Party, and I don't even believe that they're Hillary people, because there was actually a rumor, there was a story that's been going around, and Fox was talking about it, that the reason Hillary Clinton did not come out and talk Tuesday night to the people is because she had heard of massive protests that were going to happen in the situation if she had lost the election. And so they had already known that the count in Pennsylvania was actually finished, and she privately, as Donald said in his acceptance speech, she privately called him, but she sent John Podesta out to tell the people that she's going to have more to say tomorrow. But in actuality, she had already called Trump and conceded the election. And she didn't want to come out and talk to the people because she was afraid that the police weren't in position and prepared in the cities across America to handle protests. And they actually would. The only thing that I think made it peaceful yesterday is that they said that the police were already in place in Chicago and Philadelphia and New York to handle the protests. So if she did that, congratulations to her and her camp, because I actually think those were the lefty nuts, the Jesse Jackson people, Black Lives Matter, some of the Bernie Sanders kids that were frustrated. But the thing about it, they said the Bernie Sanders, the college kids didn't vote for her. So Fox News asked one kid last night, he said, if you're so mad about the outcome, did you vote? And she said, no. She said, I voted for Bernie Sanders. He said, well, then why are you here then? What are you protesting about? If you want to protest, vote. You should have voted for Clinton. You know, so they don't know. They
asked the same question to a woman, some girl over there. The guy said, who do you vote for? I didn't vote. So why are you here? And I guarantee you that 50% of the people that were there, they didn't vote.
No.
You know. And maybe, who knows, maybe they're right. Maybe that is the reason why he won. Because so many people didn't vote. You know, you should have voted. And I tell people the same thing when they come here complaining about this, complaining about that. Well, no, he's not my candidate. I didn't vote. Who do you vote for? I didn't vote. I didn't think anybody deserved my vote. Well, that's the problem. You know, they don't deserve your vote, but the people of this community deserve that you vote for one or the other one. You know, and that's the reality. You know, how can you complain if you don't vote? You know, you could make a mistake and voting for the wrong person, but vote.
That's right.
You know.
One of the big stories going on in every station I was flipping around is that they were saying, how did the pollsters get it so wrong? I mean, in some states they were off 7 to 10%. There was one poll that actually predicted the election almost perfectly, and that was the LA Times USC poll. They actually had Trump winning the election 48 to 42. And they were saying, how did it? And they said that a lot of the Trump supporters would not say on camera, or when the people went to ask them, the pollsters, they wouldn't tell them that they were voting for Trump, especially women. A lot of women didn't want to say it in front of their friends or something like that, but when they went to vote, they did vote for Trump.
Yeah.
They did.
People was, I think it's the first time people, and I don't believe it's the first time, but they said it's the first time that people were afraid to said who they was going to vote for.
Yeah.
I don't believe so. I think people always hide, especially if the friends or the family members are in the opposite, candidate like. I believe that that's the way it is,
Yeah.
So, but did you see the guy from the National Republican Party is going to become the chief of staff?
I think so.
I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah, I think he is. They were talking about some of the possible. I hope that he
Rudy
does.
Giuliani.
Oh yes,
You
absolutely.
know,
Dr. Ben Carson. They mentioned him.
Yeah, but it's funny. Not for the health, like I was thinking.
Yeah, no,
they
did.
mentioned him for education.
Wow.
They say he's a very
brilliant.
educated, very intelligent man.
Yes.
So it might be.
And
it
they
might
keep talking
say.
about your man, Chris Christie.
Yes. Yes, I like Chris Christie. I don't know why, but I like him.
What do you think about Newt Gingrich? They keep talking about him.
You know why I like him? I mean, not seriously, but I like him because Megyn Kelly disrespecting him by saying some stupid thing. I wrote about that in this week's paper. Megyn Kelly should be moved out of there. She bitch and complain about everybody. She think that because she is blonde, she deserves everything. She's not even a young woman anymore. She gotta be in her 50s, right? How old do you think she is? Oh, I don't want to be I don't have
45 maybe.
I don't have the money that Donald Trump has, so nobody's going to accuse me of being disrespectful to the woman race. I don't believe that.
I think she's about 45 maybe.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
She complained about Bill O'Reilly. She complained about Trump. She complained about God.
President of Fox, everybody. She complains about everybody. She has a problem.
What? What she say?
We were over here talking about women and their ages and the color of their hair. I think she.
Yeah, but she's not. No, Megyn Kelly's not even blonde. How do you call that thing again? Roots. She got the black roots proving that she's not a blonde. That's another thing that I don't understand, and I don't mean any disrespect to the black woman. If they are so proud to be black, why do they dye their hair blonde?
You mean like Beyonce?
Like Beyonce. Why would they want to become blonde?
Hey, we should ask, get a representative of Black Lives Matter here. Maybe they can let us know.
Oh, I don't know if I can put up with a
I actually know a couple of people that are members of Black Lives Matter in Las Vegas. I'm going to try and get one of them here.
Really?
I'd love for them to come do a show with us. Yes, they are very angry, so be prepared for it. Yes, I'm going to try. I'm worried about having them on the air because I know how you are.
Oh, no. I tell you, I'm the kind of person that I listened.
Yeah.
I listened, and like I said, two people between yesterday, since the paper came out, and today mentioned the fact that when I'm on the radio, I yell. I talk loud. It could be because Cubans have the tendency when they want to prove a point, they get excited. But I'm not a politician. Politicians yell because they want you to listen. Politicians scream at you because, and I don't know why. And maybe that is why when I was in my younger age, I used to do speeches at the university or at the commerce college or whatever the school I was going to, and the first thing is, you know, and I don't know why people that running for office, people that, and that's one thing Donald Trump did. He didn't yell.
No.
He didn't yell at all.
No, he didn't.
But you know why? I think that is the power.
Yes.
Or the money, the
Yes.
power of the
Doesn't have to.
success.
Yes.
You know. And I tell you,
Yes.
I used to have a partner. Then one day I went to the office and something went wrong and I started yelling and screaming, and I used to fight with Don all the time. All the time. And you know how much I love Don.
Yes.
You know, I mean, he is my right-hand man. No matter what, no matter how many times we disagree, you know, I trust him. I trust him. And so we had a switchboard over there, 24-hour switchboard.
Yes.
We were doing good at that time. Mm-hmm. And we have a new telephone operator. And when I blew up, she started checking and she started getting nervous. And Virginia was my partner in the newspaper, and I don't know if she was my partner or I was her partner, whatever it was. We were partners. And she told the girl, she said, don't worry about it. Yeah. When you see him yelling, screaming, don't worry about it. Yeah. When you have to be worried is when he don't yell. When he is talking to you like a normal human being, because he is thinking how he gonna hurt you. How he gonna insult you, how he gonna humiliate you. That's the way he is. When he don't listen, when he talks soft, that's when you have to worry about Roland. And but I always get excited like that. And I got into an argument with Don one day, and I told him, because he blew up. Everybody in the office thought that was the end of Don Snook and the organization. Everybody thought he blew up. And after he finished, I looked at him and I said, that is what I want from you. That is what I expect from you.
That's right.
To tell me when I'm wrong.
That's right.
I don't need anybody to tell me, agree with me, but Don doesn't like to agree or disagree. He doesn't he doesn't like to give opinion. But I need somebody, especially at that time. Now I'm a nobody. Nobody cares what I do now. But what do you mean, yes? Nobody cares what I do. But in those days, I need somebody to open my eyes. Somebody then show me the other side of the fence. Show me when I'm wrong. But he didn't want to do that. One time only. He blew up. I was shocked. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I wasn't expecting that, you know. And that's the way it is, and most of the time it is.
Cubans are like that. My mom was like that, Rolando. And you know, if she wasn't passionate, if she wasn't yelling, that's when you had to worry. But because that's the way she talked to us, that's the way she dealt with my dad. She was very passionate, and she talked very fast, you know, especially when she was speaking Spanish, and very loud. But she did that because she loved you, and that was the way she expressed herself. She was trying to get her point over to you, and because especially she had a language barrier, you know, and she knew I understand Spanish.
Well, I don't have that problem. I don't have that problem.
I mean, we understood Spanish as kids, but her kind of Spanish was different. So she would try and speak English sometime, and she was trying to get her point across. But we can understand the fire that was coming out of her is because she loved us and she cared. And when she was quiet, that's when we were worried, because she was rarely quiet. She was always singing and dancing and expressing herself. And that's how you are. You're very passionate. And
is your mom still alive?
No, my mom passed away. Yeah, she died of cancer. She was a great woman, instilled so much in us when she was here.
Do you always live with her?
I left when I was 7. I didn't leave. I was asked to leave when I was a teenager, and my mom got sick a little bit after that, and she actually sent me to live with an aunt. It was crazy because right before she passed, I have 6 siblings, and I was the baby. I was the knucklehead. Well, I was second to the youngest. I have a sister that was the baby, and I was the knucklehead in the family. And my dad one day asked me, I was 17 years old, he said, listen, you're going to have to leave. You want to be a man. You don't want to obey the rules, so you have to leave. And my dad was a military dad. He's very strict. Things had to be a certain way. And I left.
And they were still married when she passed?
They were still married, of course. Yeah. They were married for 25 years, but the only thing that I can look back in happiness is right before my mom passed away, I actually started to change my life and do a lot better. And me and my dad mended fences. We're best friends today. And but he needed.
Your father still alive?
Yes, my dad is my best friend in the world.
Where he lives?
Chicago.
Yeah. Oh,
Chicago. Yeah. But he had to do that because that was best for all the siblings. He couldn't have one person there not obeying his rules because nobody would obey his rules after that. So he had to make an example. But yeah, she was a great woman, and she was a Christian woman. She was educated.
You have pictures of?
Yeah.
Of her?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'd love to see.
Beautiful lady. My wife actually drew a few pictures of her. I think she showed you that one.
No, I don't want Drew. I want pictures.
Yeah, she's a beautiful lady, and redhead. She's redhead too. She's a beautiful lady.
I'm very partial to
redhead.
Yeah.
Beautiful blue eyes and red hair. She's beautiful woman. Beautiful. How about your complexion? She's a beautiful woman, man. So. But just respect. Give Donald Trump a chance. Like Rolando said, he's been president-elect for 48 hours, and they already got the.
He's not even the president yet.
President-elect, and it's just ridiculous, that. But it was so crazy. There's such hypocrites. I always say this because they wanted him to accept the results because they were so sure that they were going to win, and they said, are you going to accept the results and have a peaceful transfer of power when you lose and Hillary wins. And here it is, he won. And look at how the left is acting. Look at how the Democrats are acting. And they won't accept him. He's not my president. Well, yeah, he is. He's the president of the United States. He's everybody's president.
Yeah, if you don't want to be, if you don't want to live here. And, let me tell you, I'm going to put my telephone number in the paper next week. And every one of those people then are going to go to Canada because he won. I like to see if they can leave me the house,
Didn't some stars say they were going to go to Canada? I want to.
Yeah.
Time to leave. It's time to pack up.
Yeah. I think your girl, Beyonce or whatever, I can't pronounce that name. Yeah. I think she mentioned that.
Well, Cuba's a nice place. Maybe she should
they should go over there. Well, she got married over there, so might as well go over there, and they're going to see. I tell you, I used to know a guy that worked, he was a pilot for Pan American Airlines. Yeah. You don't remember what Pan American?
Pan American, yeah.
You do?
Oh, yeah, they've been gone for a while now.
They've been gone for, I don't know.
Little globe on the plane. Yeah, that was back in the
day. And that guy was a pilot with Pan American. He was making a bundle of money. Mm-hmm. He lived in Hialeah, Florida. He had a boat, a yacht, or whatever you call that. Yeah. He got a car. He got a motor home. He got every American dream, everything that the people come here for, all the material things that the people come to this country for. Mm-hmm. So, when Castro won the revolution, or when Batista left the country to Castro, Castro didn't win anything, in my opinion. But the guy moved to Cuba. Mm. He sold everything he got here. He got there with a bundle of money. In those days, not too many people can have a motorhome and a yacht, and he was living the life. He was amazed. He sold everything and moved back to Cuba. in the first 8 months, they confiscated all his money. When he complained, they put him in jail.
The door?
They put him in jail, and how do you know it's the door? I guess it was the door. I told you that dog is mean. That dog is, I don't go anywhere without that dog. That dog is, I don't go anywhere without my dog, because that dog is mean. He hears noise 3 blocks away. Who is it? Oh. And a camel. Oh, well. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to take back my office.
Oh, that's good. I mean, listen.
I
was so worried because it seemed like right before, I know you believed in Trump, but I think there was a little bit of you that was worried that Hillary would win, even though
no. I was worried that they was going to steal
the election.
And I still thinking that the only reason they didn't steal because the numbers was too high.
Yes.
I
thought the same thing. If it had been close, they would have
if they would have been a little more closer, they probably would have been some kind of tricky stuff, some kind of a Democrat maneuvering of the vote. I don't think they were able to do it. That's why they were so pissed.
I think that, and my wife brought this up, I think the push for the early voting rebounded against her, because I think that so many people thought that she was going to win because they talked about the early voting, that she was running up the score. I think it actually, people didn't go to vote because they thought that the election...
Did he leave any money? Let me show you.
I think they didn't think it was a chance for Trump to win, so they figured, why go vote? And I think a lot of her people stayed at home because the early vote count.
They were relying on the fact. Here, look at this picture over here. Okay, she's telling people go vote early.
Yes.
But she voted on Tuesday, the election day.
That was a great picture. Right next to Megyn Kelly must go. That's right. That's great.
You don't receive the paper in your emails?
No.
No?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask Cian. Maybe we do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might have to be a contributor soon, so then I'll definitely have it. Yeah.
Well, I already told you that a long time ago, but you keep procrastinating.
There you go.
Procrastinating. That's a very much a Cuban quality. Very much a Cuban quality.
Right, you used to tell me stories about how you used to procrastinate. So,
who, me?
Yes. You said you always thought about everything. You would always go home and think about everything before you would make a decision. So, right.
No, I like to consult before I make a decision. I don't like to do anything crazy, because normally when you do crazy things unexpectedly, you normally make a mistake. Very rare you're lucky enough to, but when I started the Spanish newspaper back in 1967, I think it was 66, somewhere, I did it out of the spare moment. I did that paper in a motel room.
Wow.
In a motel room, when I was single, and I was, I'm still single, but when I was young,
What? You were young? I thought you were young.
I love to live in hotels. I love to live in hotels. And in those days, you can have a room with a color TV, maid service, telephone. You don't need to spend money. You can have a room for $25 a week.
Right. Wow.
You know, and I was living in a hotel. I have a little bit bigger that time. I was paying $35 a week. But I have like an extra space. Could use it. I was using it for a living room, but it wasn't big enough to be a living room. And we finished having breakfast in an IHOP, and we was bitching about something. I can't remember what I was bitching about, because in those days I didn't bitch that much, but I was bitching about something, and I said, I'm gonna put out a newspaper and tell everybody. And I bought the material. In those days, we used to have flats. It was cardboard where you paste the articles.
Okay.
And then the picture, you had to take it somewhere else where they make a negative out of that picture, and you put it. It was a big drama too. Yeah. And I started putting the flat and the floor in that motel room. And for 6 weeks, I think it was, or 8 weeks, something like that, we put out that paper out of that motel room.
Wow.
It was fantastic. I enjoy every minute of it.
Wow.
And then we put an office, and, but it was a novelty to have a Spanish newspaper in Las Vegas. So I used to deliver it over there by the Culinary Union, and where all the Latinos used to go. The White Cross.
Yeah. Great food at the White Cross.
Oh.
Great. Great food.
Bob Stupak introduced me to that place. Bob Stupak used to eat there all the time.
Yeah. Well, thank you once again, everybody. We're going to have to wrap up the show today, Face the Tribune, with my friend, my mentor, and I'm so glad that he's staying on. Aren't we glad? I was so worried that he was seriously thinking about retiring, but we don't have to worry about that now. Donald Trump
But I think your wife was thinking that I was going to retire, and she was going to take my place. That's what it was.
She doesn't want that. She just wants the Mercedes. That's it. She doesn't care about it.
You have to bring it out.
Thank you for listening, Las Vegas. We will see you tomorrow. Que tenga buen día, buenas noches. And Rolando, I will see you tomorrow at the same time, 12 o'clock.
Yes,
Face the Tribune. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And God bless our troops.